It's Friday, and I'm back with the next in our Fanzine Friday series. Today we're taking a look at First Encounter number 5. Please stick around. I'm AZ Mountaineer. This is our channel, Old School Rules, where we celebrate the community of old school gamers and grognards who like classic RPGs, miniatures, magazines, and everything that goes with it. Each week on the Fanzine Friday series, I take a fanzine from my collection off the shelf for a closer look. Today it's First Encounter number 5 from 1983. Hope you enjoyed the video. We're back this week continuing our look at the fanzine called First Encounter. It was produced in Canada by Kelly Villemaire, art by Eric Holtz, and it's been a lot of fun. So we've done 4, we got 4 to go. This is what the fanzine looks like. It's full 8.5 by 11 sized, slightly heavy stock cover now, light blue in color. Basically 11.5 by 17 pages, folded in half and stapled. And you may remember that I mentioned the earlier issues really sort of fell apart and they weren't super sturdy. And he mentions that they've tried to make it a little heavier quality now. This one actually cost money. The first 4 were free. This one cost $1. And if you look right there, you can see there was a sticker, I think, where the price tag would have been. It's fallen off of my version. Again, really enjoy these. Let's dive into it and take a look at the cover. The artwork is by Eric Holtz. This issue has a sea adventure theme to it. It's from February of 1983. Take a closer look here at the art. I think Eric's artwork is pretty recognizable in terms of style. I do note that all these guys look kind of heavy and chainmail and so forth to be out there on the ocean, sinking like rocks if they fall overboard, but that's what they appear to be. Maybe they have a lot of confidence in their seagoing captain. Here's our table of contents. We've got an editorial and letters from readers. The Buccaneer, which is an NPC character class. Of Herbivores and Men, which is Traveler. A article for a Dungeon Master is taking up a suggestion, this one talking about bows and crossbows. Animated Weapons, which is an idea for a Dungeon Master. New Monsters. You remember Kelly does the series, a very detailed explanation about different types of weapons, different types of armor, siege, equipment, and so forth. This time he focuses in on what exactly are the difference between different types of bows and crossbows. Gun Gallery 1 is for top secret. It's new weapons. Video Corner and Game Review. Have You Ever Played, which is sort of the highlight of these. It always takes up several pages and it's lots of fun. And if you stick around to the end, I will play through it. I will once again attempt to survive. Maybe today's the day. Cross my fingers and hopefully I'll make it. Secondary skills. Remember, he's been doing a little bit of explanation and additional information that he suggests Dungeon Masters could use for those secondary skills that you could roll for in the Dungeon Master's Guide by way of sort of a little background for your character. Potions on Parchments is new potions. And then finally an article talking about pirates and how to role play them and think about them. Kelly's the driving force. Eric Holtz is the artist. And then we have a number of contributors here. Cameron Munn, John Frazer, Jeff Mehain, Gary Harper, Rod Mont, and John Edwards. I'll try to point out what these guys did as we go along. I just really like this. This is the inside cover, and this is this crazy looking Medusa. Here's the great thing about it. I'll get myself out of the way if I can. It says your mission is to capture the Medusa alive, and that I think is quite the challenge. And then he has a list here also of, in addition to that ad, he has a list of all the different stories he's in. Remember, he said he's all across Canada and he's down into the northern parts of the United States at this point. So he's making great work of expanding his fanzine. He starts off with the big issue, which is, yes, I realize, we're charging you $1. And he says last time he had a contest to see who could come up with the best explanation for this, and he was giving out a subscription as a prize. The first prize came from a guy named Mark Cameron in Vancouver, stating that the free copies of the First Encounter passed away suddenly, tragically, at the young age of 4 issues, and explains the rising cost and so forth of it. Second place, the value of the magazine is greater if there's a price on it, and that's the justification. And the third place is the reason the cover charge was put on the magazine was out of sheer greed by Kelly. Kelly does say in response to some of the people who have raised complaints about it, he thinks he's delivering value. It costs more to publish. It costs more to have this sort of a heavier stock cover. And he says you should read the letters from people who have read my magazine to justify the fact that, hey, this thing is worth $1. The first guy says he thinks, hey, your magazine being free helped a lot. $3 is an awful lot. But $1, I think, is a good deal, and you can't really buy much with $1 anyway. Next guy says it's excellent. Several people here say, I've really enjoyed reading it. I just got issue number 4. I want to get the back issues. And he says here, as of February 83, he's like, I didn't keep any issues. I don't have any copies of issues 1, 2, and 3. And if you remember from my earlier videos, those have been really hard to find. And so I don't even have them in the first couple in my collection, I think, because they were, they just got thrown away. They didn't have a value. He gave them all out to the stores that were his sponsors or his advertisers. And, they weren't super sturdy, and so they just didn't hold up. So if you ever find yourself with a copy of number 1 or number 2, First Encounter, first of all, I'd be very interested in acquiring it from you if you don't want to keep it. And if you do want to keep it, you've got yourself a real rarity there, so hang on to it. Take good care of it for future generations of gamers. Okay, character class, the Buccaneer. Through the Looking Glass. This is Jeff Mehain's suggestion. And he says he comes from a company called RP Game Masters. And I tried to look that up and haven't found any information about it. So if anybody out there knows about this company, it was in Canada and had a couple products we'll see in an advertisement here in a minute. Please put the comment down below. If you have background about them, if you know something about some of the products that they created, I'd be really interested to learn a little bit more about them. So his idea for this NPC, the Buccaneer is a fighter who's found himself living on the open seas. And here's the highlights of this. They won't wear heavy armor because they're always on the water and they don't want to get drowned. They have obviously good knowledge of how to help and sail and help run a ship. They have limited choices of weapons: dagger, cutlass, club, dart, short sword, or a crossbow. And some maybe use a boat hook as a weapon. They have limited weapons, but get some advantage. +1 to hit for every 2 levels above 4th, so that starts at 6th level. +1 to damage for every 3 levels above 4th, so that starts at 7th level. Obviously only with weapons with which you are proficient. So for example, he says a 10th level Buccaneer is +3 to hit and +2 on damage with its proficient weapons. At 3rd level, they get the ability to identify sea animals with accuracy as long as they can see them. 25% chance of success at 3rd level, increasing by 10% every level thereafter, maximum of 80%. The ability to pilot and navigate by the stars, 60% accuracy, and then 5% every level above 1st, maximum 95% accuracy. And then at 3rd level, sense a change in the weather 24 hours before it happens. At 4th level, you begin advancing in thieving skills, just moving silently, hiding in shadows, and hearing noise, but also apparently gain, in his idea, the backstab bonus that you get. So he's going to give you those abilities. It has some minimum ability stats: strength 10, wisdom 9, dexterity 15, constitution 9, no XP bonus for high stats. So that's his idea of the Buccaneer. Not bad. Of Herbivores and Men is a trio of new monsters for Traveler. I don't really do much with science fiction. I never played Traveler, probably to my regret. The first creature here is the Ambystoma, and it is like a giant, hard-shelled, mollusk creature. How's he describe it? Yeah, well, so it's an alien creature. It can be on any climate, and basically they'll try to eat anything they come in contact with. The next creature here is this little crab-like creature that he calls the Paranea. I think you could use this in Dungeons and Dragons. It's about 5 feet large. It camouflages itself like a rock, and then it likes to jump out and basically knock you down. And it's kind of an interesting technique here. So he says it's got 4 stages of attack. Usually gets attacked with surprise because of its sort of being camouflage, right? So it pounces and hits. and if it is made, then it rolls to, they say overbear, right, to knock you down. They give you a saving throw, essentially, but I think you might make it a strength roll, or you might use the overbearing rules from the DMG. If you're knocked down, then they pin you down with all of its little legs, and then it starts eating you with its mandibles. And once you're pinned, you really can't get away, and it's going to automatically hit you. So it's pretty good. And like I said, I think you could use that in any adventure. And finally, this silly looking thing is the Taurus cougar, also known as the bullcat. You notice it has 6 legs, it has fangs, it has horns, and then it can rake you with its legs. Okay, suggestion for Dungeon Masters, the DMs only. This is by Cameron Munn. And this is about arrows and bolts. A common issue is the ability to recover after you fire, right? And he says, frankly, he does not allow you to say all of your arrows survive, so you can just keep shooting them and collecting them. As long as you're alive, you can go and get them all back. No, he says. High chance that they're broken. First off, he says if it hits a target, you're not going to get that arrow or bolt back in one piece. But if they miss, you might. And so then the chance that you'll find them, he starts with sand and sandy soil, 90%, grasslands, marsh, water, forest, or dense forest, goes all the way down to only 5% chance of recovery. And the chance that it broke, he says, he has different for arrows and bolts. Bolts are a little bit less likely to survive. But if they're in soil, 10% chance they broke, 2% for bolts. I'm sorry, bolts are more likely to survive. Wood, 25, 15, metal, 80, 35, stone, 90, 40, and magic, 50, 20. That's the chance that they would actually break. I think basically either I have people roll, however many they fired, they get to roll a die that many, and that's how many survived, or maybe 50%, recovery rate. The general rule I have is, the arrows get depleted as you use them at some pace. So here's an idea by John Frazer, who has multiple contributions. Animated weapons, and his idea is this idea of enchanted weapons, basically like dancing swords that will fight the player characters. And he gives them an armor class based on their weapon speed, and hit points, I think, based on damage. No, based on weight. So takes the weight and then divides it by 10 and gives them that many hit points. So he says, for example, a pike would weighs 80 gold pieces, it would have 8 hit points. So that's his idea. They're susceptible to creative spells like heat metal, warp wood, lightning fire, do extra damage to them. And his idea is just, I guess it's a trap or a random encounter. You come in a place and then suddenly these weapons will animate and attack the party. Certainly surprise factor. If you look at the advertisement down here at the bottom, it's a little hard to see, even on the original. It's for RPG Game Masters, the company I was talking about. And on the left, they have sci-fi adventure module called Gorilla Base. On the right, they say they have fantasy adventure modules, plural, for your fantasy role-playing system. And this one, I think if I'm reading it right, is called Keflek, Keflek, servant of a word I can't read, something with an ST at the beginning. Never heard of those before, would be interested to learn more about them. And again, this is from 1983, so that's the period this would have been produced. And I love third-party D&D products. Okay. New monsters. We have a couple of new monsters. They're okay. The first one's by Kelly Villemaire, and it is the giant cockroach. It's exactly what it sounds like. Just a great big 5-foot-long cockroach. I hate cockroaches at normal size. I definitely wouldn't want to fight one in a dungeon. But they can smell, they say, from 100 feet away, so they're going to know where you are, and they attack with great veracity. The second creature is the giant amoeba. This is from John Frazer. He just says these amoeba live in areas of water, and they basically wrap you up and absorb you and try to, digest you, bottom line. And the cool thing is, I think, that makes them a challenge, they only need to hit on an armor class of 9, adjusted for dexterity, magic, but not for armor, to get their little pseudopods wrapped around you. All right, here's his sort of intellectual article, or his detailed article about something in particular, and this one is going to talk about bows, crossbows. How are they built? How do they work? and how do these things really function. So he's got the basic, crossbow there. He talks about the really basic one. You could actually maybe be strong enough to pull it up yourself, and there's always a little catch for the rope, right? And then it's cocked, and when you pull the trigger, that pulls the catch down and lets the string go forward. You've got this goat leg, which you would do by hand, and then you've got here's the side view of how the trigger works, and then you've got this block and tackle system where you would use to crank up crank the string, and usually like he says, because the cross part of the bow is metal, and so it's really hard to bend with your bare hands. For heavier crossbows, you had this thing, I don't know if it's called the craniquin, but it's basically like a gear that you would grind to wind it back. And here's the repeating crossbow, which he says should be extremely rare. I think these were invented, or at least we know about them historically in China. And it's got that little lever there that drops a new bolt down and allows you, he says, these typically he would have fire as a longbow, so 2 per round, which makes them particularly deadly. And then he talks a little bit about short bows, long bows, and composite bows and how they're made. Points out how powerful the longbow was as a weapon historically in medieval combat, and how accurate the archers were that learned to use that. But it says, of course, in a dungeon context, usually the height of the person, so like 6 feet-ish tall or long, and you really have to carry it. It's a little cumbersome, right, to carry. Whereas he says the short bow typically you could stick in a pack or attach to your quiver, and it doesn't really get in your way, at least in his theory. And then he's going to, I think, talk next time more about the exact details. He's going to have the secondary skill of a bow or fletcher, and he's going to talk about exactly the construction of the composite longbow and how that would be done. This is Gallery 1. It's just more weapons, firearms for top secret. Then we have the video corner. They talk about the excitement around the new Intellivision Advanced Dungeons & Dragons cartridge video game, which, is today's graphics would be fantastic, I guess. And then a board game called 221B Baker Street, which sounds a lot to me like the board game Clue, but I've never played, and so now I'm kind of intrigued to play this. It's a mystery solve type of game. Have you ever played, and this time it's a wizard in the heart of a hobgoblin lair? Wizards I've definitely played, and I don't have a lot of confidence anymore after the first 4 deaths, but I'm going to give it a try here. At the end of this video, I will play through and see if I can survive. And if you haven't seen these other videos, you have it's basically a linear encounter, and each encounter you have choices you make, and then you turn to the back of the magazine and find the answer to find out what happens to you. And so it's really the test of your knowledge of the character class and their abilities or spells or whatever, and your knowledge of the monster or your intuition about how to solve a trap or some type of puzzle. Here's our secondary skills, and this time it's fishing, or being a fisherman, I guess. And he basically says, you know how to string a line and bait hooks, and you have a chance to catch fish in salt water, and he's got a table, or fresh water, he's got a table. The shocking thing to me is there is a 15% chance if you fish that what you find is a monster instead of some type of normal thing you would catch as a fish, or if you were fishing. So the monster chance seems to me too high. But in any event, he's got a nice little chart here for you. Chance you get a bite, chance you get a line break, chance you break your rod based on what it is, and how much food you would get if you actually get it in and are able to catch it and kill it. Potions on Parchment by Rod Mont. He says he thinks this will be a regular feature. Talks a little bit about manufacturing it and the ideas of sending people on quests to find the components. And here's his first potion, the Potion of Luck. It gives you luck similar to a luck stone, but no addition on rolls for determining magic items or treasure. +1 to hit and to damage is gained. Lasts for 1 to 4 turns. 250 experience points, 400 gold piece value, and he has your components you'd have to get if you wanted to hire an alchemist to make this. 2 drams of wine from a leprechaun, jacinth dust, ruby dust, hair from a rabbit's foot, hellebore leaf, sarsaparilla roots, and a dram of juice from crushed clover. There you go. And finally, there's an article on pirates, how to think about them, how to role play them. This is Kelly's article. He says he's thought about it, read about it. He really thinks pirates, are not chaotic, which is often what people think their alignment would be, but instead he thinks they're lawful but evil, because they do have organization. They respect the captain, quartermaster, and stuff like that. He gives you some ideas about the approximate level he would expect different people on a ship to be, a little bit of information about how they were run. He says the quartermaster really was the one who did a lot of the discipline, divided the treasure after they took somebody else's ship, etc., and so forth. And he's got a little bit of information about life on a pirate ship, and how you might end up being captured as a sort of slave, if you will, and forced to work on a pirate ship. Some of the discipline you get on a pirate ship, like you robbed another crew member, your nose and your ears will be slit, or you'll be marooned on an island. Sneaking a woman onto the ship, death on the plank. One of my favorites was if you killed another crew member, you would be tied to the corpse and then thrown overboard to drown together. And there's a number of other, punishments on there. In bottom line, he says, look, pirates are buccaneers who had some grievance, learned, seafaring ways, but had some grievance with the formal order, had some grievance with the people that ran the ship they were on, their captain, whatever, and have turned to a life of piracy as a better option. And wants you to know that he thinks AD&D has great rules for sea adventures, and he wants you to know that he thinks that can be a really great alternative to the normal stuff on land or your dungeons. He encourages everybody to think about adding that into their campaign. And once again, the comic shop has the same art here on the rear cover. So that's it for my discussion of the contents of this fanzine. If you stick around, then our sort of bonus feature here, I will play through this section called Have You Ever Played? Okay, we're going to play through this. You guys should feel free to play along at home. All you need to do is get out a piece of paper. You can note your choice, as I go along, so you can then find out what happens to your character. Keep track of your hit points. That's basically all you need to do. Have you ever played a wizard in the heart of a hobgoblin lair? You will be Elron Baroon. Strength 15, Intelligence 18, Wisdom 12, Charisma 9, Constitution 17, Dexterity 16. I don't know about these stats. They're pretty awesome. Level 8, Chaotic Evil, +2 dagger, +1 dart, Ring of Invisibility that'll last for 1 turn, or a Wand of Paralyzation, Cloak of Protection, 1 bonus. You have a Scroll of Protection from Evil, Push, Haste, Detect Invisibility. You have other spells: Burning Hands, Hold Portal, Magic Missile, Sleep, Rave Enfeeblement, Continual Light, you can use twice, Fireball, Lightning Bolt, Slow, Ice Storm, Polymorph Self. Here's your hint. Be cautious with your spells. You can only use each once. Scroll each spell, scroll, or magic item 1 time. The Have You, which will appear in almost every issue of the magazine, is a quiz designed to test your skill as a fantasy player, test your knowledge of the rules, the monsters, etc. This offers adventure in various caverns, rooms, or wherever where you are to choose what seems the best decision in handling your encounter. Remember this here. In certain choices, your best choice may be one which minimizes damage but cannot prevent it altogether. Sometimes you're going to take damage, just make it as small as possible. We hope to include this in every time, giving you different races, character classes, etc. They're really fun. If this is your first time finding my channel, I'd go back and look and watch and play through with me on all these. They're a lot of fun. I've never survived, but maybe you're a little better at this than I am. Hit points 29. Here we go. Revenge is sweet. Boy, are those rotten hobgoblins going to get it. During their most recent raid on your home of Silt, and what a wonderful town it is, they had the nerve of actually breaking into your abode and stole the gem of spell restoring you were coveting for your birthday. What a nice gift it would have been. But this should be some fun getting back your present from these slime balls. Walking through the Colnor swamps isn't really your favorite thing to do, and dirtying your robes gives you even more wonderful ideas what to do to these hobgoblins. It's midday, muggy. Up ahead in the trees you see a campfire. You place your hand on your dagger as you feel no need to waste good spells on a measly merchant. As you get about 20 yards away from the fire, the fire suddenly disappears. You realize this isn't a campfire of a merchant, it's a will-o-wisp, which you feel in your bones is about to attack. You suddenly see the light reappear in front of you, and you decide to cast Sleep, cast Detect Invisibility, attack with a dagger, cast a Lightning Bolt, and then, if necessary, attack with a dagger. Cast Fireball, attack with a dagger. I think it's right in front of you, so cast Continual Light, attack with a dagger. Cast Magic Missile, cast Protection from Evil, and Detect Invisibility, attack with a dagger. That's 2 spells. Throw a dart, attack with a dagger. Use the Ring of Invisibility, run away. Cast Protection from Evil, attack with a dagger. So if you remember, I think one of the ways I think this is challenging is no looking at the books. Can't look up the creature and can't look up the spells. With a magic user, that's extra hard because I do not have all the spells memorized. But that's the challenge. This is sort of a, certainly not a beginner level challenge to do these things right. So I don't know that it's a will-o'-the-wisp, and I don't remember their alignment. But I will cast Protection from Evil and attack it. And now let's see what happens. I'll tell you guys, don't listen to me. Holy crap. I'm not going to make it. All right, so Sleep doesn't work, 22 hit points. Detect Invisibility works a little, 20 hit points, and then you run away. Lightning Bolt, no effect, 23 hit points. Fireball, no effect, 23 hit points. Continual Light and attack, 23 hit points. Magic Missiles do damage. You take 29 points of damage and kill it. You find its treasure, which contains a Cure Serious Wounds potion and cures 12 of those hit points. So net of 17. Protection from Evil, Detect Invisibility, take 28 hit points. Throw Dart Dagger, 20 hit points, run away. You've lost your dart. Ring of Invisibility and run. That was the thing to do. No damage, you get past it. Protection from Evil, 20 hit points. So Article 1, or Item 1, I'm down to 9 hit points. So really, this test is to realize, I guess, you can't defeat this thing, you need to run away. I just didn't want to use that Ring of Invisibility right away. Big mistake, clearly. After disposing of, or in this case, running away from it, getting out of the swamp, you proceed into the Kardelov Hills to the entrance of the Skullcrusher Hobgoblin lair. You hear voices, "It's this way." "No, it's not. Look at the map, Lyndon." As you approach the crest of the hill, you see 2 foul, elvish people discussing something. "Look, Lyndon," it says, "right here on the map, that if we can get in through the graveyard, we'll be able to surprise the hobgoblins." Realizing that this map is exactly what you need, you decide to attack them somehow, and you notice they are armed with short swords 10 feet away, and you decide to cast Slow, attack with a dagger. Cast Lightning Bolt, attack with a dagger. Cast Sleep, kill them. Cast Polymorph Self into Elf, attack with a dagger. Ring of Invisibility, attack from behind with your dagger. Magic Missile, attack with a dagger. Protection from Evil, attack with a dagger. Haste, attack with a dagger. Fireball, attack with a dagger, or attack with a dart, charge with a dagger. I cast Sleep, and hopefully they're asleep, and I can kill them. This guy's evil. It works no problem. All right. So that's okay. All right, so Sleep, Slow helps. Take 2 hit points. Lightning Bolt destroys 1. Take 1 hit point from the other elf. Sleep puts him to sleep, you kill him. 4, you gain Surprise. Kill the first one, but then take 5 hit points. Invisibility, gain Surprise. Kill the first one, take 3 hit points. Magic Missiles kills them. Protect from Evil doesn't help because they're not evil, and they hear you reading it, and you take 6 hit points. Haste works, you only take 1 hit point. Fireball, they both get killed, and the map is only slightly burned. And then Dart, Dagger, you kill them but take 5 hit points. All right. Now let's look at the map. Ah, yes. Find the tomb of Borg the Magnificent. Vain little creep. Trace the insignia on his tombstone. That'll seem easy enough. And without much difficulty, you find the graveyard, and through a bit of searching, you find the tombstone. As you trace the insignia, a depression starts appearing right where his bones should lie. A few moments later, the soil falls in to reveal a staircase leading into the depths of the hobgoblin lair. As you proceed down, you hear a sliding noise from behind you, only a panel sealing up the staircase. At the bottom of the stairs is an open door revealing a room 30 by 30 with an open door opposite wall. As you enter the room, you hear the sliding sound again. You better make sure you go back, look up the staircase. You see 2 ghouls are trying to sneak down the stairs after you. What do? Caution to the wind, open the far door and close it behind you. Cast Hold Portal. Cast Magic Missiles, then attack with a dagger. Cast Protection from Evil, attack with a dagger. Cast Sleep, run away. Cast Sleep, attack with a dagger. Cast Lightning Bolt, then attack with a dagger. Cast Continual Light on 1, attack with a dagger. Cast Polymorph Self into an elf, attack with a dagger. Or attack immediately with your dagger. Well, I really don't want to have to fight in melee with 2 ghouls. Protection from Evil, I think, would keep them away, but then I'm going to go attack them. I'm not sure how that helps. And I'm not sure they're susceptible to sleep. And Lightning Bolt would only kill 1 of them. I'm still fighting in melee, and I only have 9 hit points. You know, I think I should run, but I'm not going to. I'm going to cast Protection from... Do I still have... Let me go back. I got to see what my spells are here. Did I only have 1 Protection from Evil? Because I did use that. What do I have? Protection from Evil Scroll. All right, so I already used that. I can't even use it again. So I'm going through the... I'm going to run in and close with the Hold Portal. Perfect choice, no damage. Magic Missiles kills them. These Magic Missiles are really good. Protection from Evil also works. Sleep does not work. 3 points of damage and you run away. Sleep doesn't work also. Get 1 and then you become paralyzed. They kill you. They eat you. Lightning Bolt destroys 1. You get the other. Take 2 hit points and don't get paralyzed. Continual Light, 2 hit points, no paralyzation. Polymorph does not help, of course. You get paralyzed and they eat you. And attack with a dagger, paralyzed, and they eat you. Okay. You walk up the hallway from the room. You turn a corner and see a hulking form munching on a body. He can't be that bad of a guy. Just then he turns around to face you. Oops, it's a wight. Oh, all the undead. Just enough time to run like the wind, I think. Cast Sleep, throw a dart, then a dagger. Ice Storm, Continual Light, and run past it. Burning Hands, attack with a dagger. Magic Missiles, attack with a dagger. Invisibility, run away. Lightning Bolt, attack. Protection from Evil, attack. Wand of Paralyzation, and a dagger. I guess I'm level 8, but as a magic user, this seems very tough. So the question is whether I use Ice Storm or Lightning Bolt. I think Lightning Bolt hopefully is enough, so we're going to try that. All right, Sleep Spell. Doesn't work. 3 hit points. Lose your Polymorph Self and Slow Spells because you lose level. Throw your Dart and Dagger, same thing. Ice Storm, same thing. Interesting. Continual Light, great choice. You can run past it. I guess you blind it. Burning Hands does a little bit. Take 2 hit points, lose a level. Magic Missiles, 1 hit point, lose a level. Invisibility. Oh no. Okay, yeah, invisibility works great, no damage. Lightning Bolt works great, no damage. Okay. Protection from Evil works some, 2 hit points, lose a level. And paralyzation, 3 hit points. Okay. Lose a level. After the hassle with the wight, you decide that it's time to rest for a minute or two. After all, you're tired. You sit down in the corner and start thumbing through your spellbook. Out of the corner of your eye, you detect movement. A giant centipede is approaching. You decide to. Protection from Evil, attack. Paralyzation, attack. Burning Hands, attack. Magic Missiles. Invisibility, run past it. Slow, attack. Throw the dagger, use your hands. Lightning Bolt, haste, attack, or Fireball. Hopefully that kills it. Yeah, I don't know how tough the centipede is. So I will try the paralyzation. This seems like just trying to survive is how this works. Oh, every single one of those choices works and you take no damage. Well, that's interesting. After squelching this little crud centipede, you proceed on your way. The corridor seems to lead in a single direction, no doors, no side passages. As you near a bend, you hear screaming and the sound of many running feet coming towards you. 40 feet ahead of you, from around the bend, you see 5 kobolds that run straight at you, yelling with spears in hand. Upon spotting you, they come to a complete stop, faces full of surprise. They look behind them, then commence directly at you, running and screaming. You decide. So clearly they think the other guy is worse, right? Fireball, sleep, burning hands, and then attack. Magic missile, then attack. Attack with your dagger, use protection from evil. Cast ice storm, cast slow, haste, continual light. I'm going to cast sleep. That should take him out. All right. Fireball works. You don't take any damage. It also destroys the creature that was coming. That's a bonus. Sleep works, no damage. Burning hands works, no damage. Magic missiles works, but you take 2 hit points. You attack with your dagger, that works, but you take 6 hit points. Protection from evil, that works, you take 4 hit points. Ice storm kills everybody. Slow works, you take 2 hit points. And then haste or continual light, also only 2 hit points. All right. Boy, that was weird. Those little rotters are pretty wretched. Oh well, on you go. And just as you approach the bend from which you saw them coming, you see what they were running from, a huge gelatinous cube, which takes up the whole corridor. Slowly approaching 20 feet away, you decide to cast a lightning bolt, an attack, rave enfeeblement, an attack, burning hands, then a dagger, magic missiles, then a dagger, turn invisible, attack with a dagger, ice storm, then a dagger, polymorph into a sparrow, fly past it, leaving behind your scrolls, your wands, your rings. Cast sleep, cast paralyzation, cast lightning bolt, cast fireball, cast haste, cast continual light. I'm going to try burning hands, see if that'll do it. Okay. Let's see. Lightning bolt fails. It hits you. You're paralyzed. You're digested. Raven enfeeblement doesn't matter. Paralyzed, digested. Burning hands does damage. You take 3 hit points. Down to 6. Magic missiles. You take 2 hit points. Ice storm. Turn invisible. You get your first attack off, but then you get digested. Ice storm does not work at all. You get paralyzed and digested. Polymorph self into a sparrow to fly past it. Obviously works. You just lose some stuff. Cast sleep doesn't work. You get digested. Paralyzation doesn't work. You get digested. Lightning bolt doesn't work. You get digested. Fireball works. No damage. Haste, get digested, and continual light, get digested. All right. You squeeze by the dead gelatinous cube and proceed on your way. The corridor continues winding around for a few hundred feet and ends abruptly in a room 40 by 50. You see many bones of dead people or creatures on the far wall, a doorway with a statue or something beside it. As you get closer, you see that the statue is actually a huge tree-like form with long tentacles. It's a roper. It's a roper, he says, and he seems to be too close for comfort. You quickly approach the doorway and try to open the door, keeping a close eye on the creature, which starts to move in for an attack. You get the door slightly open, but it seems jammed, and you realize that you had better cast a spell quickly or do something, so you decide. Cast Burning Hands and jump through. Jump through the doorway, cast Hold Portal. Cast Sleep and jump through. Cast Magic Missile and run. Cast Lightning Bolt, attack with a dagger. Cast Paralyzation, attack with a dagger. Cast Ice Storm, then run through the doorway. Slow, run through the doorway. Fireball, run through the doorway. Attack with a dagger. I will try casting slow. Let's see about that. All right. Burning Hands. It works, you get away. Just run through the doorway, cast Hold Portal. It works, you get away. Sleep doesn't work, and you get eaten. Magic Missile works, you get away. Lightning Bolt, you get eaten. Paralyzation, you get eaten. Ice Storm, you get away. Slow, you get away. Fireball, you get away. and attack immediately, you get eaten. So, and just so you know, this was H, there is no I, so we just go from there to J. You go through the doorway, and on your venture, you realize you should be a little bit more careful. Up ahead, you see a hobgoblin carrying a damp-looking sack. He just turns into an alcove. Quickly, you sneak up towards the alcove, and inside you see the hobgoblin cursing at a door, fumbling with keys. He doesn't detect you sneaking up behind him, and you successfully get your dagger to his throat before he has a chance to do anything. "Where is my gem? Tell me, or I'll slit your throat here and now," you demand. The frightened hobgoblin seems to know exactly what you want and tells you where the gem can be located. You decide to end his existence anyway. Well, you know where your gem is, but curiosity gets the better of you. What's behind the door? A question you will soon answer. You pick up the keys the hobgoblin had and open the door. You see a 20 by 20 room that appears to be empty. However, as you enter, you hear a squeaking noise coming from the opposite corners of the room and from out of two post-revealed holes file out giant rats. 7 of these rotten rodents leave their slimy abode to meet death, not their expected dinner, as you decide to step back and cast Fireball. Use the Ring of Invisibility, run back to the door and shut it. Attack with your dagger, polymorph into a cat and attack them. Cast Burning Hands, cast Sleep, cast Protection from Evil and attack, cast Magic Missile, and then attack with a dagger, cast Ice Storm, cast Slow, and close the door. So I would use the Ring of Invisibility and run away. Let's see. All right. Fireball kills them, but you take a hit point of damage. Invisibility, you get away. Attack with a dagger, you do kill them, but take 4 hit points of damage. Polymorph into a cat, you kill them, but take 6 points of damage. Burning Hands, you kill them, no damage. Sleep, put some sleep, no damage. Protection from Evil, take 3 hit points of damage. Magic Missiles and attack, take 3 hit points of damage. Ice Storm, you take no damage. Slow, you get away, no damage. It is true, curiosity does kill the cat, but not you. On to the great hall where your gem has been put for safekeeping. As you approach the hall, you see the great chasm of Lopdup that you must cross. There is but a single span across this bridge, very narrow. On top of the span stand 2 hobgoblin guards. You decide to cast Slow and attack. Attack with the dagger. Cast Sleep and then sneak up on them. Sneak up on them, use 1 of Paralyzation on one, attack with the other. Cast Continual Light in front of them, attack with the dagger. Use the Push Scroll on one to fall on the other and down into the chasm. Polymorph into a bat and fly past. Cast Magic Missile, 1 for each of them. Protection from Evil and attack. Haste, then attack. Burning Hands, then attack. Fireball. I'm going to try the push. See if that works. All right. Slow spell works, but take 5 hit points. Attack with your dagger, 7 hit points. Sleep will work, no damage. Sneak up on them, paralyzation. It works, take 5 hit points of damage. Continual Light, take 6 hit points of damage. Push Scroll works, no damage. Polymorph into a bat, get away, and you can skip the next encounter. Cast Magic Missiles, you kill them, no damage. Protection from Evil and attack, it does work, but take 5 hit points of damage. Haste and attack, it helps, but 4 hit points of damage. Burning Hands, 2 hit points of damage. And cast Fireball, it works, you take no damage. After disposing of the guard, you cross the bridge and approach the double doors, which are the entranceway to the Great Hall. As you are about to open the doors, you hear a terrible scream from above you to the left. You look up and see a huge carnivorous ape dropping down to the shelf on which you stand. You notice he or she has a chain and collar on the neck, but it doesn't appear to be attached to anything. You quickly decide to cast Haste and attack. Use Protection from Evil and attack. Wand of Paralyzation and the dagger. Burning Hands and attack. Cast Sleep. Cast Ray of Enfeeblement and attack. Cast Fireball. Polymorph self into an ape and attack. Cast a slow spell, open the door, and run in, waiting for the ape inside with a dagger. Open the door, and then cast Hold Portal. Cast Magic Missile. Attack with a dagger. Cast Lightning. Use your Ring of Invisibility and quickly open the door and run away. Cast Continual Light and attack with your dagger. I have not been taking good notes. I don't think I've used my Wand of Paralyzation, so I'm going to try that. All right. Haste Scroll, 7 hit points of damage. Protection from Evil, 8 hit points. Paralyzation works, no damage. Burning Hands helps, within 4 hit points damage. Ray of Sleep fails, 7 hit points. Ray of Enfeeblement works, 3 hit points. Fireball works, no damage. Polymorph Self, no difference. You take 8 hit points of damage. That's horrible. Cast Slow helps, 4 hit points of damage. Open the door and cast Hold Portal. You make it, you get away, no damage. Cast Magic Missile, 4 hit points of damage. Attack with your dagger, 9 hit points of damage. Cast Lightning Bolt, no damage. Ring of Invisibility and run away, no damage. And Continual Light, 7 hit points of damage. All right. After opening the door, you see a 10-foot wide corridor, goes 60 feet to a door. The walls have small torches on the wall as throughout the lair, and you can easily move up to the door. You open it and see a 30 by 20 foot cavern. Inside, plainly visible, is your gem lying on a 4-foot high rock slab in the middle of the cavern. Surrounding it is this brownish colored mold all along the floor. You decide to stand behind, shoot a fireball, and run and grab your gem. Cast Burning Hands on the floor, burning the mold. Cast Sleep on the mold, run in. Cast Protection from Evil, run in. Just run in, get the gem, and run out. Cast Ice Storm, go in and get the gem. Cast Invisibility, or use the Ring of Invisibility, go in and grab it. Polymorph Self into a hawk. Fly in, grab the gem, and come out. I like that. Cast Continual Light, run in, get the gem. Grab a torch, burning the mold as you move up to the gem. I like that too. Use haste to run in, get the gem, and get out quickly. Pull out a dagger, run in, grab the gem, and run out. That's what the dagger's for. You know, I don't think I haven't used my polymorph spell. I was going to cast Fireball, but I like the creativity of the polymorph spell, so let's use that. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, so much for my good idea. So the Fireball, the brown mold starts to grow rapidly, and you take 9 hit points of damage. Burning Hands does the same. You only take 7 hit points of damage. Sleep does nothing. You take 6 hit points of damage. Protection from Evil, 6 hit points of damage. Running in, 6 hit points of cold damage. Cast Ice Storm. Great idea, no damage. Ring of Invisibility, 6 hit points of cold damage. Polymorph into a hawk and go in. 3 hit points. All right, now I still have 3 hit points. Continual Light does nothing, 6 hit points of damage. Grab a torch to push it back, then you start to grow it. You take 9 hit points of damage. Use haste, only 2 hit points because you're so fast. And run in, just pull out a dagger and run in, 6 hit points of cold damage. So thank goodness my hawk only took 3. There are only a couple ways I could survive that. Oh, victory today. After obtaining the gem, you proceed back the way you came. You have no encounters, and then maybe the creatures in the area now fear you, and rightly so, the crud. All right, so apparently the wizard is one of my better character classes, or maybe, frankly, this one was just a little easier than some of those others, I think. But in any event, I have finally survived my first Have You Ever Played encounter. I hope you guys played along. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I think these are just awesome. You know, they're not necessarily a real test, but you know, they're great. They are a great test of how well you remember the strengths and weaknesses of different monsters, how well you remember how spells and magic items work, and somewhat good, I think, a good idea to sort of test of your strategy as well. I hope you guys have a great Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. Until next time, my friends, keep rolling 20s.